So in this video, I'm going to show you the techniques that we're going to use for the 30 days to higher kicks. So the first one we're going to start off is going to be just our 12-inch lift. So this is the 12-inch front lift. I raise my leg up and I raise it up about 12 inches each time, just like this. I'm not lowering it back down lower than my original starting position. You should be working these top muscles. The next one is going to be our 12-inch side lifts. So I get it up and I raise it 12 inches and I keep it up. Make sure not to drop it down, and we want to get these muscles on the side. Make sure your bottom foot is pointed completely away from the foot that's being lifted up. So axe kicks are going to be the next one. You just kick up as high as you can, making sure that you don't lean forward. That's the biggest mistake people do when they do their axe kick, is they lean forward to meet it and they stop themselves from getting that full kick. So make sure you look up as you do your axe kick. Go as high as you can. Next one we're going to do is our belt-assisted hamstring stretch. So you want to get your belt, lay down, put it right in the center of your foot, bring it all the way up, and then bring it up as much as you can. Make sure your bottom toes are pointed directly up, and we're not lifting our hip off the mat as we're doing this. You can get a higher stretch that way, yes, but it's a different muscle, not what we're going for. So keep your hips down, toes up, and bring it up as high as you can. So the next one is going to be our butterfly. So we sit down, we bring our heels as close to our butt as we can, and we're going to, with our elbows, push down and lean forward, just like this. So heels in, elbows down on top of your knees, lean forward. Our next one is going to be dresser stretches. So I call them dresser stretches because when I was first starting out, I would use a dresser to stretch. So you can use anything. I'm going to demonstrate this on Bob here. So the first one is going to be up. So up means my toes are pointed directly up, and my bottom toes are pointed either towards or slightly offline, but not more than 90 degrees. So I can go up to 90 or slightly forward. When you're doing this, I want you to lean forward, and you should be feeling a nice stretch right in your hamstring. The next one for our dresser stretch is going to be side. So usually I start from the front or the up, and I turn my foot. So now my foot is pointed completely to the side. It's not pointed up all the way to the side, and my bottom toes are pointed completely away from my leg that's lifted up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab here, and I'm lifting myself close to the leg that's up there. You should be feeling this right in your hip abductors. The next one is down. So from here, the same position, I'm going to put my hands down, and I'm going to reach, and I should be feeling this on the bottom one, just like this. Try to pull your head and chest close to your bottom leg. Our next one is our front figure eights. So we're going to lift our leg up, and we're going to make this figure eight motion. You can go ahead and use something to help you balance. If you don't want to, you can do it in the air, but you might lose your balance. We're working on the strength here. Make sure your bottom toes are facing either forward or a slightly offset, but no more than 90 degrees from your front leg. Now we're going to move on to our front leg circles. So it's kind of like our front figure eights. Our legs up, and we go up and then right back down to that starting position. Try to raise it up higher each time. Don't let this leg drop down. So I don't want it here and bring it all the way down. I want it at the highest point that you can hold it and then raise it up. And that's going to be our front leg circle. So the next one is our front leg hold. Just what it sounds like. We're holding it out as high as we can. Bottom foot is either pointed forward or slightly offset, no more than 90 degrees. Our front leg lifts, we're going to start with our foot off the ground, and we're going to raise it up, and then we bring it back down. We're not letting it go back onto the ground, though. We're just bringing it close to the ground and then lifting up as high as we can. Make sure you don't lean forward to meet your leg. It's going to stop you from being able to raise it up. So next is our front stretch kick. It's kind of like an axe kick, but what we're going to do is we're going to let it swing to the back and then all the way to the front. So I'm using my body like a pendulum to help get this up as high as I can. You really want to reach up high with this one. Our next is a high roundhouse kick. So it's just a roundhouse kick, except for you're having the intention of going high. So I usually pick something on the ceiling or the wall, and I kick, and I find, okay, that's where that was, and then I'm going to kick a little bit higher, and I see where that one landed, and then a little bit higher. So each time you do the kick, you're trying to progressively kick higher with your roundhouse kick. Just like our high roundhouse kick, our high side kick, we're picking something on the wall, we're kicking, and we're bringing it back, and we're going to pick something a little bit higher. And each time we do our kick, we're trying to progressively get higher as we're doing this kick. Our hip twist, we're going to have our feet about double shoulder length apart, and we're going to twist our hips. This is just a really good one for opening up the hips. Sometimes it's used for warm-ups or after you just did a long static stretch. Our next one is a hurdler stretch. So we're going to sit down just like this. One foot's in the front, the other one is going to go back. When you do this, I want you to lift up, slide, and then sit down. Front is going to be going directly towards that front leg. Make sure we're leaning with our chest. Then we have our center. We're going to finger walk a little bit directly towards the center. So in between my toes and my knee, and then rear or back. I'm just turning back this way. You should feel a twisting stretch right here in this back leg. Our next one is our leg hug glute stretch. So we're trying to stretch our glutes. We're just bringing one leg across. I like to put the shin bone right into the crease of my elbow, and I hug it close to my body. I'm trying to stretch right in my glutes with this. Hug it. If you're not feeling it too much, bring it over more, and then hug. Our lunging hip stretch is going to be just like this. My back foot has the heel raised up. I'm stretching the top part, and I'm trying to drop my hips straight down with this. You should be feeling it right on top of this leg. Make sure your heel is not on the ground, but it's up as we're doing this. Our outside crescent stretch kick, you can hold on to something so you don't lose your balance, but we're trying to make a big circle with our leg. We're not trying to put too much power, we're not impacting, we're just trying to get as high as we can and as far out as we can with this. We're trying to have a real big range of motion as we do these. Seated hamstring stretch. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna put both of our legs directly together. Our knees are locked out. Don't bend your knees as you do this, and I want you to reach for your toes. Try to go as far as you can and point these toes backwards as we're doing this. You should be able to feel it in your calves and in your hamstrings as we reach. One thing that a lot of people do to get a little bit further is they really curl their back. If you can, try to pinch your shoulder blades together as you reach. That's going to change it from being a lower back stretch to a hamstring stretch. Our seated quad stretch. We're going to bring one leg back and we're going to put it right under our glute and we're going to lean back. You should be feeling it right on top in your quads. You can lean back as much as you need to. You might only be here or you might be laying flat on the ground in order to stretch that quad. So now we're going to do our seated splits. So with our seated splits, go ahead and just sit down, open your legs up as far as you can. Then what I want you to do is I want you to raise up, slide out, and then sit back down. So we're gonna go to the front, trying to get our chest all the way onto the ground. You can finger walk if you need to. You might just be here at first. If you're to the point where you can't lean forward at all, try sitting down and then have something in front of you that you can grab and pull in order to be able to pull yourself down. Now, with the sides, we have left and then right. I want you to turn your body and then reach straight for it, trying to put our chest to our knee. Same thing with the other side. All the way down, trying to get our head and our chest down to our knees. Now we've got our side figure eights. They're just like our front figure eights, except for we're going to the side. Remember, when we do these side ones, I want your bottom foot pointed completely away from the foot that's raised up. We're gonna be doing our figure eight motion as we do this. And these are our side figure eight. Now we're gonna do our side leg circles. Same thing, we have our bottom foot facing completely away from this one. We're gonna raise it up as high as we can first, and then we're gonna raise it up even more with a little motion to make these circles. Remember, we're not dropping it down all the way in order to do this. We're keeping these small circles, that way our muscles are constantly engaged. We're trying to get them stronger. Our side leg holds, bottom foot faces away from the leg that's raised up. Raise it up as much as you can and hold it. Really flex these muscles here to keep your leg up as high as you can. Side leg lifts, I want you to have 90 degrees. One foot's gonna raise up. You can hold on to something if you'd like. You don't have to. And then we're gonna raise it up as high as we can, and we're gonna bring it right back down. Don't touch the ground with this though. When we're doing this, try not to drop your body in order to make it. You can start with your body low and then work on it, or you can keep your body up, but I don't want you moving your body with your leg, or else you're not gonna be working the muscles that we want as well. Our side stretch kick, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold on to something. I like to kind of cross it over in front first, and then raise it up and then bring it back. Raise it up and bring it back. With this one, you will be dropping your body, and we're just trying to get it up as high as we can. If you can, look at where the kick is going, the height of the kick, and each time try to get it a little bit higher. Our single leg seated hamstring stretch, I'm going to have one foot or one knee is bent with the bottom of my foot right at my knee, and I'm going to reach with both of my hands towards my foot. Make sure your knee is locked out, and then try to pinch your shoulder blades together as we lean forward. That way it's more of a hamstring stretch instead of a lower back stretch. For our slow front kick, go ahead and hold on to something. Have your toes of the non-kicking leg either pointed directly forward or slightly offset, no more than 90 degrees. We're going to raise our knee up to the highest point that we can, and we're going to extend out, and then we're going to bring it back. Depending on which one you're doing, you could be kicking out for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and then bringing it back for 3 seconds. Or it could be 5 seconds. It could be different time lengths, but we're just doing it in a slow and controlled motion. So a slow roundhouse kick, go ahead and grab onto something, or you can do it without using an aid. That's up to you. We're going to bring our knee up, and we're going to kick out 1, 2, 3, making sure that we start at a little bit of a lower point, and we bring it up, and 1, 2, 3, or however long it says that we're going to be kicking this out for. Make sure that knee is angled upwards though. That way it gets progressively harder to hold as that leg is extended out, and we're in a slow and controlled motion. My head, my hip, and my knee are all in one straight line. Our slow side kick, same thing. I'm holding on to something. I bring my knee up and I point my heel. My heel should be pointed up as much as I can. And I'm going to extend it out, and then I'm going to bring it back. So depending on how long the time says, it could be 1, 2, 3, or it could be 5 seconds, or however long it is. It just wants a slow and controlled motion. Our socket stretch, we're going to start just like this. My back foot, I want my heel and my toes all on the ground. My front foot, knee is pointed forward along with my toes, and I'm going to drop my hip down. You should be feeling this right on the inside on your adductors. Bring it right down as much as you can, pushing it directly into the ground. Don't turn that back foot. Just drop your weight down. Next is our splits. So we're going to go into our splits as far as you can. Our front is going to be just like what it sounds. I'm in the center facing the front. Then I have my left, where I put my left arm over my left leg. And same thing to the right. Remember, when I turn to the sides though, one foot's going down and the other one is going to be pointed straight up as we're doing this splits. So if I'm on my right side, my right hand is over my right leg and my back toes are down. So our squatting hamstring stretch, we're going to come just like this. We're going to squat onto one of our legs, and we're going to reach forward with the opposite arm, going straight down, dropping our chest to our knee, and you should be feeling this right into your hamstrings. So squatted splits, go ahead and put your legs farther apart. We're going to bring our knees out. We're going to use our forearms closer to our elbows, and we're going to put them right on the inside. I want the weight of gravity pulling me down as I open with my forearms to point my knees further apart. Don't let your knees come in. So this is to the front. Now when we're going to either left side or right side, if I'm using my left side, I'm going to put my palm here, and I'm going to drop my shoulder so that I'm really forcing this side open. As I'm doing this, my other forearm just keeps this knee from coming in. And same thing when I'm going to the right side, I want to drop with my right shoulder, palm on my right knee, and drop it down, forcing this knee open even more. So our standing hamstring stretch, we're going to put our feet together. Make sure our knees are completely locked out. Don't cheat by bending your knees. We want to pinch our shoulder blades together as we do this, and we're going to reach all the way down. If you're pinching your shoulder blades correctly, you might not go down as far. Notice I'm about here with a good pinch. If I stop pinching, I can go much further, but that's when I'm starting to use my back. If you have a back injury, that's not going to be as good. We're really focusing on your hamstrings, so don't worry if you're not as far down as you think you could be. So our standing quad stretch, you can use something to balance or not. That's completely up to you. Grab your foot just like this. Bring your heel in towards your butt, and then push your hip forward a little bit. Some people will feel it just by doing this. If you're a little bit more flexible, you might not feel this, so you want to push your hip forward in that instance. You should be feeling this right here on the top in our quads.